All right, by now, I'm assuming you've heard the news that Parler has been deplatformed by Amazon and Google. So if you have it on your phone, you would still have it. And of course, if you bookmarked it on your desktop, you have it. But Parler itself, so they'll probably go dark for at least a week. I guess at some point Monday or what have you, and as they change over to their own server. Now, that's the way of the future for these sites. Gab has already done this. Gab's having problems right now, and even Parler was before this announcement happened, because so many people are switching over. So they're getting a lot of traffic. Gee, I wonder why they suddenly get all these subscriptions. But that's the situation here. And gee, what's going on? Well, they're taking up an opportunity here that was going to happen at some point, certainly with what happened with Trump and losing his account. Going forward, I figured after he left office, they would definitely cancel him, even though in a lot of ways it's detrimental to Twitter itself. But strange times. And of course, they have protection from power. And that's how this works. Government power has always worked as a protection racket for quite some time now. And you get with the protection from what? Well, from the government? Well, yeah, to some extent, but it's also protection from your competition. So Parler was becoming a problem. And so they, the accusation that it's incites violence or whatnot, no evidence of that. No, it can't point to any of it. Meanwhile, Twitter and the like has just god awful things on there. And yes, death threats, quite a few. And then hate speech and whatnot. You have the Ayatollah, Holocaust denier and all that sort of thing going on. And they're fine with that. Gab, because a lot of the crappy guys from Twitter who got banned went over to Gab. And they're still there. Yeah, I run into them time to time over there. That's the way life is, and you don't have to read their posts and all that sort of thing. You don't have to follow them. But in a free speech world, and if you do hold to the principle of it, then you're going to have to allow that. Unless, of course, they are engaging in, here's so-and-so's address, somebody needs to take him out, that kind of thing, which is a direct, violent, a death threat. That's understandable why you would ban that sort of thing. Parler is actually a lot more strict about these things than Gab is, and yet, so it's a lie. Amazon and Google, they don't have any real grounds for this. It's just a means by which to eliminate the competition. They feel safe in this because their guys are in power now. And there you go. They can even deplatform a sitting president, So that's how powerful they've become. And it's fascist, because the idea of fascism and the difference between that and socialism, which is nationalizing the means of production. In fascism, technically you still own your business and your company, but the regulatory regime of the government is such that you really don't. But in this situation, you're still collecting your money and your wealth and all that. And any other upstarts that come along, well, they can't. They'll be stamped down, primarily because they just can't pay the racket in a lot of ways. But in this case, that's what you have here, because this allows the monopoly by collusion between these companies for them to treat their customers like utter garbage. And they do. And so what do? You can't, where are you going to go? And I mean, that was always the thing. People were complaining about violations of speech and whatnot on Twitter. And it says, well, why don't you just build your own platform? So they did. Quite a few. And, oh, well, no, you can't have that. See. So when you have the better argument and whatnot, you don't need to silence the other guy. when you don't have the better argument, you need to silence the other guy. And that's what's happened here. They're terrified of speech because the truth is not on their side. And that's what happened. So, gee, what to do? Well, yes, I am on Parler. YouTube is getting in on the game. A great channel, Computing Forever with Dave Cullen, gone. They got rid of him. He's a nice guy. So, very popular channel. Had a lot of subscribers for quite a few years, and he's just gone. Now he's not gone. He's on BitChute, Odyssey, which used to be Library, and I think he's on Rumble. He should be. And it's certainly on Minds. He's a big proponent of that place. And Minds is a really good social media site. You can do videos there as well, and I do. It's really a pretty good social media platform. It doesn't get as much attention as like Parler or Gab did. I'm not sure why particularly, but there it is. Anyway, as soon as they notice it, they'll probably deplatform that too. But there's ways around it, and they're doing it. But it's tough. You got to build everything going forward. So another thing they really need to get in on with Rumble and Parler, there's the Dan Bongino show, which I only watch on Rumble, and he's made the point that he's an investor in both of those companies, of Rumble and Parler. And he's mentioned a time or two that, yes, they need to get work on their own payment processor. That's vital because, you can't be on Twitter or you can't be on YouTube anymore, but you can go to these other services, and you're going to have to really hustle and to make up what you've lost if you had a really successful channel and all that sort of thing. But you don't have PayPal, you don't have credit card, all that can be taken away, and that is enormously disturbing. And it's happened quite a few times already. They've had some dry runs, and now I don't know. I may even lose mine, and I'm nothing. I appreciate my subscribers. Yes, I do. And people who follow me on social media, but I'm really small time. To say I'm small time is really stretching it. So, but nevertheless, I don't know. It could just be like caught up in an algorithm or something, and it could be just a massive wipeout. So, some videos going forward, there will only be on the likes of Rumble, BitChute, and Minds. So, and Odyssey. Odyssey's a little different. Some of my videos, depending on the format they're in, it won't take them. Where the other two, or three rather, no problem. They'll take whatever format I put in there. So I, got to learn that one, but it's there. So, yes, going forward, probably a lot of the Nailsin news cartoons, they're not going to be on YouTube anymore. Just can't risk it. I don't even know what the rules are. I know there's a certain political event most recently and some concerns about it. I can't discuss anymore. Apparently, you get a strike if you even mention it. I don't know how you do that. Of course, mostly reviews for TV shows and stuff like that can go forward, but this just increases the likelihood that just about anybody can get you kicked off if they just, I don't know, don't like that you didn't like the TV show that they liked. It could be that simple. So it's a mess. So, it's like, why put in the time to do it? Now, of course, I'm doing this stuff for fun, but I can certainly understand the damage it could do to someone who's actually built something. And it was once a wonderful thing. What a cool idea, and a lot of people did that. And there's no foundation now. It's not, why put in the effort when it can go away in a blink of an eye for nothing, when they just make up terms and determine that, because what actual criminal behavior is and what death threats could be and that sort of thing. And yet now, I'm just going to rearrange your words in my definition of terms and decide that's what you really meant. Your every word, every letter you choose to use is some sort of secret code or dog whistle. So don't bother trying to learn the rules. They can change on a dime. So that's the problem. So there's going to be quite a few videos and whatnot that are just, I will do, but they're not going to appear here. So as far as I know, I'm still on the different platforms I've listed before. I'm still on Twitter, though. That's, and even as I'm going, I post stuff on it, but I don't really tweet myself. I don't even put my Photoshops on there anymore, very rarely. I'm on Instagram, which is, being on Facebook, but how long can I be there? I don't know. So yeah, you're just going to have to, if you want to follow me, just putting it out there, that's where I'll be, provided those platforms can continue. And I don't know that they can, but we'll see. But yes, they have to build their own servers and be you can't have any dependency, certainly on Google, and payment processor. They're really going to have to buckle down on that and because it's a huge market out there of people just being completely denied. So it's not it's not quite that elite, to say that it wouldn't be a good idea to go through the trouble of building all of that. No, there is a market for it. And, so all this idea that what Google and Amazon do, that's all a part of capitalism. No, it's not. And this is just massive antitrust violation all over the place. Antitrust laws were abused in the 90s against Microsoft, of all people. That was a sham case. But then the revelation that Microsoft just didn't have a lobbying firm. But that was odd. They did afterwards. Yeah, see, that's how that works. You got to pay the protection racket. If you don't, well, even big Microsoft. So as long as it's a corporatist thing. It is a marriage that they have, and it ebbs and flows between them. But ultimately, power trumps money, and that's the situation of where it is. And if you don't play ball, they will slap you, and they did in the case of Microsoft. That's a old story now. But here today, these are government powerful allies. So the idea that an antitrust case would go forward and get anywhere with the current regime in place, don't hold your breath. Not anytime soon. I'm sure they'll have like a little bit of theater about it and call them before Congress and yell at them and all that and act like you really did something. And then it won't happen. So, yeah. So anyway, yes. Alt tech is the way to go. It's really the only choice. And you can follow me on those platforms, and hopefully Parler will be back online soon, and you can follow me there. So that's the way it goes. So yes, there will still be Nailsin Ratings videos on my YouTube channel. The others, I like Nailsin News and stuff like that, no. And I guess I'll keep doing the night videos as well, but even that might not stay on here, because I just I'm trying to figure out and anticipate what would be the problem, because certainly politics I can't discuss on YouTube anymore. It's forbidden, and because I don't agree with their politics at all. Still have the Nailsin Show for however long that goes, which is available on Amazon Music. Yeah, it is, but how long is that going to go? And all that at Radio Misfits, which does discuss politics quite a bit. But it's also where new episodes of Night Night and Bubba Stargone and Bear and Void and all that happen. So that's where I'm available, and I just thought I would do that as kind of a channel update in the midst of this massive purge that's going on, and who knows, who all it affects and where it'll go. So just thought I'd do that. There won't be a Sunday Comics because I just don't have the time. Hopefully there'll be another one. next weekend. And that is one of the ones that will stay on YouTube for now. But it'll also be on those other video channels as well. So check me out on Rumble, BitChute, and Minds, and Odyssey as well. And yeah, there's probably going to be more stuff there than there is on YouTube going forward. I'm already uploading stuff on those channels, those platforms first before YouTube. So sometimes even a couple of days ahead of time. So yeah. So anyway, there you go. Terrible times. For the most part, unnecessary. But I don't know. People are crazy. I blame Satan, you know. I laugh, but I'm not kidding. All right. Talk to you again soon. Well, I got a James Bond video coming up soon, so you'll get that.